Hello and welcome. My name is Magnus Edholm, and today we are with you from CES 2026, which takes place as every year in Las Vegas. And now I have an interesting set of gentlemen joining me, two wearing West and one wearing a cap. That's kind of the selection process of coming on stage today. No, it's not. So I have Lucian, I have Kevin, and I got Jake all joining me. You know what we're going to do now? We're going to do around the coast. So I give you 30 seconds to pitch what you do, your focus area, who you are, etc. Because we have a lot of viewers out here, and they are all very keen on understanding where they can find out more about what's happening in the industry, because that's essentially why the four of us actually are here in Las Vegas. Lucian.
Yes, I'm Lucian Fogoros. I'm an engineer by background, journalist by mistake, if you will, and I'm focusing on industriality and AI across manufacturing, energy, and infrastructure, and leveraging a community of about 300,000 people.
Yeah, and you travel the globe, being on big events.
Yes, it's a global community. We're 100% online, yet we do travel to the in-person events and covering events.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Lucian. Sure. Kevin.
So I'm Kevin O'Donovan. I'm a technology evangelist. I spend my time looking at new technologies and making people aware of the art of the possible. And then, I suppose, bridging the gap between look at the cool stuff you can do, but then how does that add value to manufacturing and the energy industry?
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Sir?
Yeah. I'm Jake Hall. I'm the manufacturing millennial. I'm an advocate to bring the next generation into manufacturing and automation, right? We have a workforce problem. We're going to have 2.3 million unfulfilled jobs in manufacturing, and I want to showcase the technology and the change that the industry is having to get people excited about what we're doing in our industry.
Cool, cool. So you have three tech experts here, and saying that, and also having a manufacturing millennial here on both. Surely you guys are counting your steps. How many steps have you been walking today?
I have 29,000 currently on my Garmin.
Okay, you beat me with 27,000 steps. Kevin?
I was just in the North Hall here today, so I think about 15.
Okay, Lucian?
I got about 22 steps, but 20,000 steps, yet my Aura ring had to be recharged, so.
Oh, okay, okay. And during those steps, I know we have some 40, 50, 60,000 steps between the three of you. Lucian, what has been the highlight that you've seen today at CES?
So a couple of things, right? From my personal perspective, it's great to see a lot of the apps for longevity based. So like seeing an app that not only that gets you your wearables and things from your ring, from your watch. So that's from my personal perspective. I like to see that in one app, and the Holoscope is one of them. And then, but from the perspective of one of the excitement I see across the board is this transformation from digital transformation towards intelligent transformation.
Oh.
In other words, the AI across in various industries that we're sure all be looking at.
So the AI, I mean, that's something that's definitely very present here. So is there anything there that stands out?
So it's definitely, wherever you look, it's there. So whether we are seeing on a daily basis, you walk into the booth here, you have the Explorer, definitely the truck here with the Explorer, the demos, that you can see the examples in the life sciences or other industries.
Yeah, so what Lucian is talking about is essentially our Explore tour. You can't see it from here where you guys are sitting, but we have this big truck here. Right. And here at the CES, it's a 12-minute guided tour through a life science use case where we are utilizing the digital threads and also AI to do some, well, finding where the issue actually occurs. So I'm going to go to you now, Kevin. I know you're always filming and you're everywhere. What did you see today that actually stands out, even if you were only in the North Hall? But it's a pretty cool place to be, though.
So I was in the North Hall today, but so I was here since Saturday, right? So we had CES unveiled on Sunday night, and yesterday we had press day and a lot of stuff going on. Two things stood out for me. I suppose on the AI side, because it was Gary Shapiro at the opening was like, AI is everywhere, and it is. But it was AI inference at the edge, the architectures for pushing it out to the edge. I'll come back to that in a second. And the second one was around just robotics, physical AI. And particularly, obviously, the humanoids are getting all they're the eye candy. But it's actually the robots, the things on wheels and the robotic arms where the money is and where people are using today. But if I may, on the AI inference, obviously, NVIDIA have done an incredible job and are known for it. But AMD last night, what they're doing, Qualcomm, You have a bunch of startups here with their own inference chips. So when we look at the factory of the future, you're going to be pushing a lot of small language models. They called it vertical AI, out to the edge. That was the Brian Komisky from the CTA had that word the other day. Now I know we have too many words, but or whatever.
A lot of buzzwords.
A lot of buzzwords. But inference at the edge, and people kind of going, that's where I'm going to deploy the stuff. And then, as I say, robots. And the humanoid ones get all the kind of the eye candy. But at the same time, if you turn around and go, well, what's an autonomous vehicle? That's a robot.
Yeah.
And then you go into the factories, like Siemens factories in Erlangen and wherever, around the world. AGVs, AMRs, like Amazon. This stuff's happening.
Correct. Jake, manufacturing millennium. You've been at, what is that, 29,000 steps?
Yes.
You must have seen the world today, haven't you?
It was a lot. The one thing that I really enjoy is I get to see a lot of trade shows, every year. Last year, I went to 65 different shows across here in the U.S., in Germany, in the U.K. And for me, it's always, I love it because I always get to learn something new. And so this is the first ever CES that I've attended. So it was one of those things for me where I was able to go in, with a fresh set of eyes and say, what is this show all about? And the one thing that I really appreciate about CES, it's where we envision the future is going to be, where a lot of the technology that we're seeing on the show floor right now isn't fully deployed in a lot of use cases, right? We saw, probably 100 different humanoid robots across the North Hall and the West Hall. How many of those are actually able to be deployed right now into a manufacturing floor? Probably not a lot. There's a few out there that probably could. But the one thing about it is, how are these companies going out there solving problems that the manufacturers and the end users are asking for?
Right.
That's really exciting. But the one thing that I really appreciate about it is, when you look at the younger generations in the industries, the millennials, the Gen Zs, the upcoming Gen Ys, they view manufacturing as this dark, dirty, dull, dangerous industry that their parents warned them not to go into because there's not a long-lasting career.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden I can say, hey, you're a young kid who has a 3D printer at home, who can go on the computer, download a file, design their own solution through software, take a software that will strip that, put it in lines, make a physical product, and then work with it. All of a sudden, that kid who is 10, 11 years old is his own manufacturer. And then I can say, hey, you love building, you love design, you love being innovative. Well, now look at this, all this new technology that's coming in, where manufacturing is no longer this physical world, it's a digital world that new generations are growing up on. All of a sudden I can go out there, and I was at the NVIDIA keynote yesterday, and Jensen's talking about what they're doing with Siemens and how they're moving the Omniverse forward. And all of a sudden, it's not just what's on the physical floor, it's what's in the digital twin as well, and how we're driving productivity. All of a sudden, technology is not the old industry, it's the leading industry of innovation.
Yeah.
And that's why I've gotten from walking CES so far is there's a lot of technology that we're not going to see on the floor, but it's coming. And I think it's, for what I love to do, I love to educate all the people who are watching this right now, or the people in manufacturing, saying, hey, here's the technology that's coming, get ready for it. Do you have the teams in place who are ready to adopt technology?
I think you're doing a great job. What you just said, I mean, that is a true evangelism there, if you ask me. If there would be one thing of all the things that you saw that you would say, this truly stands out, and you can't pick a humanoid.
Oh, man. I would say if I can't pick humanoid, I'm going to still stick with a robot. And I think for a long time, right, robots have been around for 40, 50, 60 years. They were first deployed in the automotive industry, and they're beginning to become more scaling and more flexible over time. What we're seeing AI do is AI is taking a once stagnant arm that could only do a specific task, and it's making that task so much more flexible. Where now all of a sudden it's no longer a robot doing the same thing over and over again. I'm working now in a flexible, agile environment that now automation can hit all these new industries and sectors. And it's not just manufacturing anymore. We're seeing stuff working in food and bev. We're seeing stuff in agriculture. We're seeing stuff in construction. Now all of a sudden AI is enabling technology that's been around 40 years to be something brand new.
Kevin, what would you say? Pick one thing that stands out.
The thing that stood out for me today was fusion.
Fusion.
I do a
You
lot.
mean energy.
I do. I spend a lot of time in the energy industry, right? I go
Right.
to a lot of events, not 65 though. We look at AI factories.
Right.
We need more energy. We look at bringing all, every country's bringing manufacturing home, more factories, more automated factories, more electricity, more EVs, more air conditioning. We need more energy. So fusion, Commonwealth fusion systems. They're using digital twins and simulation to bring fusion to a reality in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And like you'd say, well, it's energy and it's how did the, but it's all interwoven, and they're using the technologies from different industries to make fusion a reality. I thought fusion was a pipe. Like when I was growing up, fusion was
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So we have Commonwealth Fusion System as an exhibitor on our booth. And the cool thing is they have a set of water bottles, like small bottles. I would say it's not even a liter of water or half a gallon.
That's the fuel.
Yeah, and that amount of energy in that bottle of water would be enough to power our, well, the complete consumption of electricity that each one of us need for an entire lifetime. So there's definitely potential in here. Lucian, if you had to pick one of the big things you've seen today.
So one of the things that I liked, I think I seen it Sunday night, it was this tool that allows you to almost like automate interviews. So imagine if you're a consultant, you interview 30 people, you set aside 30 half an hours, but this one, the AI would do it for you. So in our case, inputting that into a 300,000 community, that would be super helpful. For companies like a product manager, if you want to get feedback and summarize that feedback into one page, that was one of the things that was at least on my action to-do list to leverage immediately after this.
Fantastic. I'm looking at the time now. So I'm going to give you all the same question here. So my experience is when you walk around here at CES, I haven't done that so many times, but it is sometimes it happens. And ever so often you run across some technology that really say, oh, that is just so innovative. That is just so creative. Why didn't I think about that? That is a thing that comes to mind. And what is the big thing that, I mean, we almost talked about it, but it's got to be something that, oh my God, that is just the coolest thing since sliced bread was invented.
Oh man, you know, it was one of those things where I would say it was. Why didn't I think of that before?
You see, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Why didn't I come up with that?
So I was in the Hyundai Motor Group with the collaboration with Boss Dynamics out there, and they just had some technology that was moving cars around for charging stations, and it would go underneath the car, pick up the car, and slide it around. I'm looking at this, it's like. It's so simple when you think about it, but the efficiencies, the technologies, how they're moving these cars around manufacturing facilities when they're being constructed. It's just a cool thing where it's not brand. I guess you say it's such a simple idea that now technology is making things capable to do that are just going to make people's lives easier.
Yeah, cool. You know what? I'm looking at the time, so we don't have too much time left. But I mean, I want the people watching also to be able to follow you guys. So, Lucian, where is the best way to find you, and where can they follow you? And how would you describe day one with one word?
Unfocused.
Unfocused.
One word. But yes, you can find us on X. LinkedIn page. We have iot-world.com as well as the domain.
Lucian Fogoros at LinkedIn or something like that.
Correct. Lucian Fogoros. It's only one Lucian Fogoros on LinkedIn. So
yeah, I think there's only one. And there's probably also only one Kevin O'Donovan.
There are a lot of Kevin O'Donovans.
Is that right?
There is. That's a popular name.
I sure.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram. One word. Inspiring.
Inspiring.
I suppose more than one word. The thing about CES, compared to all the energy events that I go to, you have every industry here. So you don't know what you don't know what you don't know when you see other things.
The last 10 seconds.
Yeah. Jake Hall on LinkedIn. You can just search up Jake Hall, look for the blue cap, and then my website, mfgmil.com.
it's got quite a collection.
Exactly. 27 hats.
Gentlemen, It has been a true pleasure to round the day off with you three. So much energy, so much experience, and so much to learn by following those guys on social media. And they will keep on posting throughout this week. So go in, follow them, like what they do, repost what they're posting. That's what I would do at least, because you can learn a lot from this. A lot of know-how here gathered by those three guys. So with that, thank you very much.